grab my backpack, too, when we get that.
We're ready to begin with New Mexico. We have student athletes Tish Brown, Bria Mitchell, Coach Yvonne Sanchez. Coach, we can start with you. Just some thoughts on tonight's game.
First I want to congratulate San Diego State on a terrific year. I have a lot of respect for Stacey Terry. I think she does things the right way. And, I credit them. They took us out of a lot of things that we tried to do. That's a very good basketball team. That's a very good coaching staff. And, what a great game for the fans. I mean, this is what tournament time's all about. And our fans were terrific. I give them a lot of credit for creating an atmosphere like the pit. And we were fortunate. We were fortunate to come away with that. And now it's time to see what's next.
Thank you, Coach. We'll now take questions for the student athletes.
Jeff Grammer, Albuquerque Journal. And Tisha, actually for either one of the players, a lot closer game than the two regular season games. What was the difference that they did to make this one just a lot closer?
I mean, it's called March Madness for a reason. And so you can't look back on what you've done in January or February. It's a completely different season. Every team starts out 0-0. And I just think we can't take anything for granted. We can't look back on what we've done a month ago and what they've done a month ago. We're both two completely different teams. And I think we just kind of came into the game with that mindset, knowing that we could possibly face anything. So.
Coach told us before the game it was going to be a grind, and there are no blowouts when it's tournament time. So we knew it was going to be a grind.
J.R. Oppenheim, New Mexico Day Lobo. And Tisha, you guys had a hard time last season closing out these close games. You guys kind of rectified that, and now you're able to do it here at the tournament. What's different about closing out games this year than compared to last year?
We've grown up. We've worked on things. We've taken every lesson that we possibly could from last year. Our freshmen got an amazing chance to go to Italy with us and kind of learn the pace of the college game. And I think that's what kind of helped us out, is building that team chemistry, not looking down on each other or any of our opponents or anything like that. We just stick together, do what we have to do, get stops on defense, execute on offense, and close out games. We have to know time and score situations, but we can't panic.
Go ahead.
Willie Ramirez from the Associated Press for either one of you ladies. Seemed to be a game of runs. You guys made a run at the end of the first half. They come out smoking in the second half. What exactly were you told at halftime to possibly prepare for coming out the gates?
At halftime, we just wanted to focus on defense and rebounding and just keeping the energy high. And runs are going to go back and forth. But and the team that rebounds and plays the best defense and works the hardest usually comes out with the win.
And San Diego State, they're a long athletic team, and we know this. And, they got a lot of drives to the basket, more than what we wanted in the first half, so we had to contain the drives. They were getting a lot of points in the paint, and most of them were layups. So whenever we kind of try to slow them down a little bit on that, it kind of worked in our favor. But other than that, we just had to execute our end, rebound, run the floor, and kind of push it if they were getting a little tired and fatigued, because they have one game over us, and, just do what we can.
Seemed to be a physical game. They were letting you guys play. You guys got 12 second chance points to 1 for them. Do you guys feel, from a physical standpoint, were you expecting it to be that physical, first of all, and how do you guys think you did in the physical game?
Well, we didn't really know what to expect because, like I said, it's March. But our post did a fantastic job of staying mentally in the game and physically in the game. They got beat up a lot, and San Diego State post, those are some big girls, and they're very strong and they're very athletic, and our post took a lot of big hits for us, and that's just a sacrifice that we make for each other. We're willing to run through a wall for each other, and I think the post took a big load off of that.
Any other questions for our student athletes? Okay, we'll dismiss them at this time. Thank you, ladies.
Good job, guys.
Shout out to our fans.
No rapping.
Questions for Coach Sanchez?
None? All right.
No.
Yvonne, would you expect anything less than a tight game? I mean, you guys couldn't have done this one easy today, could you?
You know, I told them at the end of the game, I said, you guys have done this all year long. We've won close games. We've grew up a little bit. I've grown up a little bit. You know, it's a fun and a very, very special group. I told them that the last time out there was 14 seconds left, I think 14.3 or something like that. And I said, look, you guys have won games like this all year long, so you can't expect anything less. Get out there with confidence, scramble around, do what you need to do, and it'll go your way. And we were very fortunate. We were very fortunate. It's a very good San Diego State team we beat.
Yvonne, can you talk a little bit about Teresa's play coming home? She came right out of the gates. I mean, I thought she was going to end up being the star for you. She quieted down a little bit, but, I mean, she came right out. It was almost like she set the tone for you, maybe in front of some hometown people or –
Yeah. Charisse has been like that all year long. We went and played at Wyoming. She scored the first 6 points, and we were a little stagnant in the beginning. Charisse is going to be and is a phenomenal player, and she's even a better person. But she's long, she's confident, she can handle the ball, she can shoot it, you know, she can take it to the basket like you saw. We were very fortunate to get her out of Las Vegas, and I'm glad she's wearing cherry and silver because I definitely wouldn't want to play against her.
I can't imagine you guys would kind of overlook anything with the season you've had, but number one seed loses earlier today. You guys are coming off of some awards, some recognition. You guys are in an unfamiliar place of getting a lot of attention and a lot of praise after what was a slow start to the season. I'm curious at all if you worried at all about maybe overlooking an opponent a little bit.
No, no, we know better. I mean, we were picked 9th. We were 1-7 at one point, so we know better than to overlook anybody. You get nervous because your opponent already played on this court one time, and we hadn't, and that's a little nerve-wracking. The first game of the tournament, and this was our first game, is always a tough one. You know, I look back at the history. I've been at New Mexico 15 years. San Diego State won, so I've been here the whole time, and I've seen it all. And you see that first game. I remember when Colorado State beat Utah, you know, the year that everybody wanted to change seeds and brackets and everything like that. And it happens. It happens. And, you know, when you see as much basketball as we've seen, you don't ever overlook anybody. You just have to stay focused, play. You're going to have games like this, and you just have to be ready for them.
Yvonne, since you've been around the program so long as an assistant and now as a head coach, how does this team kind of compare to some of the other teams that you've been around?
You know, I told them I don't. It's hard to compare. It really is because each team was so unique. We've had some very good teams here. We've had some very good players here. This team is built like some of those teams with being long, being athletic, having an inside presence, having an outside presence. It's really hard to compare some of those teams, but I think like I told them before, they have a chance to be a special team, and they've done some very special things. Our journey's been fantastic, and sometimes you don't want to get to the destination because your journey is so much fun, and you know we're still on our journey, and hopefully we can be on it for a while.
I know this game just happened, Coach, but in your processing, will you have a chance possibly in the next few minutes or so to think about the next opponent tomorrow because you've got another game, but you don't know who you're playing yet? So how do you match up with Fresno State or Wyoming?
Yeah, they're two tough teams, and they're two difficult teams. Fresno State is just very good. They've got an inside game. They've got an outside game. Sheedy and Smith are phenomenal players. Collins does a great job of forcing tempo and getting to the hole. Huff does a great job if she's hitting threes, and then they've got Fox in off the bench. So that's a really good team. The week before we played Wyoming, I saw them beat UNLV 99 to I forget what it was, and we had just lost to UNLV, and I'm like, oh, great. So I know what they can do with Woodward and Dent and Mileto. You know, Rader can get in there and Sebrel inside if you let him throw lobs. So it's two different teams in some respect, but we got to be ready for anything. So we'll sit and watch, and you know, trust me, on the way here, I've already processed it and figured out what we need to do and not do, and kids will get back and get some rest, and you know, we have to be ready for tomorrow. And this is going to be another great game with Fresno and Wyoming. So, you know, we'll see what happens.
we talked already about the runs. Shree starts quick, and Tisha in the middle kind of took over in the run in the first half. Bria hits 2 threes in like a 3-minute span second. Alexa Chavez seemed to be the one player throughout the game that was coming up with big rebounds, a steal, and some big buckets. Can you talk about Alexa's game?
Alexa does that all year long, and she's kind of a silent assassin. She had 8 rebounds, 7 points, 3 assists, 0 turnovers, 2 steals, and she's always in the mix of everything. There could be about 3 or 4 black jerseys around, then you see little Alexa just battling her tail off, and she's done that for us all year. Her and Khadijah both. It was very, very physical, and they had to do what they had to do to get in there and get rebounds, and on their horn set, on their ball screens, she's the one that had to help off Fort and all those quick guards and Harvey. And Harvey had a great game. That's a nice player. And she took it right at us on those switches. And, Alexa did a nice job of trying to contain it. But like I said before, we played a very good San Diego State team.
Anything else? Thank you very much, Coach.
Thank you, guys.